Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Our Favorite Show. My name's Angelina, and on this week's episode, I'm going to be showing you my tricks on my makeup. Now, I wouldn't classify myself as like a beauty guru or a beauty expert. By no means am I. But over the years of wearing makeup, I've kind of come up with if you want to call them tricks of applying makeup and what I kind of do that works for me, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. Now, you've probably seen some of these before or you haven't, but I thought I would put on kind of like my natural normal day-to-day makeup and kind of like tell you why I do certain things, and it might work for you, you never know. Now, there is going to be a change on my upload days. I used to upload on Mondays and Thursdays, but now I'm still going to upload 2 times a week, but I'm not going to have like a set day. If you're wanting to know exactly when I upload, either follow me on Instagram or press that bell notification and make sure you're subscribed, because then you'll instantly get notified when I upload a video. So with enough rambling done, let's just get on to these tips and tricks. I go in with the Olay moisturizing cream for sensitive skin, and this just keeps my face nice and hydrated throughout the day and will make the makeup go on a little bit better. Now that our face is clean and moisturized, usually people go in with foundation, and I do kind of too, but I don't. I go in with a concealer first. Now, as you can see, I have really dark bags here, and I find when I put my foundation on first and then my concealer, it kind of doesn't hide my bags as much as I would like to. So before I put on my foundation, I like to put on a tanned or orangey concealer just a little bit underneath my eyes, and this helps to cover my bags just a little bit more. We're just like pushing the concealer up a little bit. So this concealer is well loved. It's one of my favorites. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer in tan. The good thing about this stuff is you don't need a lot of product, which is perfect because we don't want to cake up our under eyes. And then grabbing a paddle brush, we're just going to pat this in. So as you can see, this is not a brightening concealer, it's more on the orange side, and it's going to help us cover and hide up our bags. So usually people put on their foundation and then the concealer and try and cover up their bags, but I find that this is a little trick and it really helps me cover them up. And then whatever's left on my brush, I just put over any blemishes. And it's that easy. It takes an extra 2 seconds, but it really helps to make sure our bags are covered up. Next, we're moving on to foundation. So this is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Foundation, and this is one of my favorites. Do I have a trick with foundation? I think the only really trick I have is make sure you get the right color. And I guess some foundations are more on like the oilier side for dry skin, some are more on like the drying side for oilier skin. So just really pay attention to what the foundation actually says it does. Like this one is a hydrating, which is great for me because I have dry skin. So it's going to be more on the oilier side rather than the matte side. But I think at the end of the day, it's really just trial and error with your foundation. So just try it out and go for it. When applying foundation, I like to pat it in first, all over my face, and press it into my skin. And then when it's patted in, I like to blend it in. I just do small circular motions and make sure it's really blended. Obviously with foundation, we want to match it with our neck. So another good trick to make sure that it's all blended together is making a double chin. And I know it's kind of weird because we want to avoid double chins, but if you make a double chin, you can see like where your jaw is, and you can see that it's blended nicely. I don't bring my foundation higher than my cheeks for my under eyes, just because we will be adding concealer and we already have some concealer there. So we don't want too much product underneath our eyes. Moving on to concealer, I always tend to use two. Even though we've just used one, a corrector, I kind of use two. So I first go in with just a sheerer concealer. I don't put it directly underneath my eyes. I kind of put it here, like in the middle, not directly, just under here. This is like kind of to highlight our under eye area. And then I like to go in with a more higher coverage concealer for underneath my eyes to cover the bags. So another one of my favorite high coverage concealers is the Maybelline Master Conceal. This stuff is amazing. You only need a little bit again. So you only need a little bit. And I simply, oops. If ever I take out too much product, I just put it on the highlight zone of my face. So like my chin. And then I grab a brush and I start patting from the outside. So start blending the NARS in first and bring it in and pat the Maybelline concealer in. So patting it is going to leave the product there. If you swipe it, it's going to take the product away and move the product. And I blend it on the sides of my nose, just here as well, because it helps shape the nose. So blending those edges and making it seamless. And then when it's blended, I like to go over my eyelid and connect it, and whatever concealer is left, it kind of acts as our eye primer. And then quickly getting a light powder, because we don't want to get rid of that brightening we did underneath our eyes. Again, patting and not swiping, so we're really pressing that powder in so it doesn't crease. And then just setting the rest of our face with a powder that matches our foundation color, and again pressing that into the skin. And I do this after setting my concealer because it kind of blends the concealer powder and our face powder together, so it's one here, so it's not separate. And then once we have powder on, I like to blend it so it's really just blended together and it looks seamless. So usually after foundation and concealer and powder, people move on to brows, but not me. I go onto bronzer, and I go onto bronzer because I find when I'm blending my bronzer up my temples that it sometimes gets into my brows, and then because I've just done my brows get ruined, and after my bronzer I have to go back to my brows. I don't know, that just works for me and ensures that my brows stay in place if I do my bronzer first. So let's go into bronzer. I'm going to bronze with my Hourglass Ambient Powder in Luminous Bronze Light. And what I like to do is tuck my hair behind my ears and match the end of my ear down my cheekbone, and I kind of stop at the apples of my cheek. So when you smile, just here, I like to stop just there, and then I really buff the bronzer out so it's not sharp. We're not contouring, we're bronzing. And then I bring it up the temple just here, and just make sure you blend, blend, blend. And then I like to grab a bit more and start popping that on my temple here. And then bringing it down and connecting it to our bronzer on our cheeks. So same thing for the other side. Tuck the hair behind the ear and bring it down to the apple or under the apple of your cheek. Bring it up to the temple. Grab a little bit more product and blend the temple. So once I finish bronzing, I then go to contour. And I always go to my Hoola Benefit bronzer because this stuff, you can just trust it. If you're not confident in contouring yet, then I highly suggest you start contouring with a brush like this. Now I know what you're thinking, it's like, Angelina, why bronze with such a small brush? It's so you're more controlled in your contouring and you can really aim it where you want, and because it is a bit more denser and fluffy at the same time, you can blend that contour out much easier. And we're gonna dab it a couple of times, then pat it off. Same thing, we're gonna go from the ear and we're gonna go a little bit shorter this time, so till about there in one line. Then if you want more product, go in for more product and just keep going back and forth, and you can see that line coming. Then we're gonna start doing circular motions to make that line softer. Bring it up the temple, whatever you have left on the brush. And boom. That's your contour. If you want to make it even more softer, if you think you've gone a bit too much, grab your bronzing brush and just lightly fluff it out. Lightly fluff it out. If you're completely scared to contour the nose and you have no clue and it's like, oh my god, what do I do? Then this first trick is perfect. Get a open bronzer, so we can't use the Hoola one because it's just too hard to get to, and grab your middle finger. Lightly press into the contour shade with your finger, just lightly, so you have some product on your finger, and then blend or rub them together. Then looking straight in a mirror, you're going to press those fingers down your nose, and you're going to pat and gently blend that product. And I know it looks ridiculous now. Any harsh lines, you're just gonna blend down. And that's how you can get a really quick nose contour or an outline of where to contour. Then once our bronzer contour is done, I then like to set my face with setting spray. This is like the base of our makeup, and this is what we want to last. If anything, if our blush comes off, okay, if our highlight comes off, okay, but we want this to stay on. So hence why I like to put a little bit of setting spray on my face now. And then once the spray is on, I like to fan the spray and set the spray so it really soaks into my skin. Then I like to move on to my eyeshadow. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, I am not a professional makeup artist, nor do I call myself a makeup guru. I just love makeup and I just play around with it. So next I move on to a crease shade. And for this I usually use my bronzer or a light brown shade. And then going to put this in my crease shade. The reason I'm using this brush is because one, it's fluffy, two, it's a bit dense, so it's gonna really pop the color where we want it, and three, it's gonna blend the shadow out because it's nice and fluffy. So we're going to put this in our crease, as I said, and I really struggled to find my crease when I first started with makeup. Because I have hooded eyes, I used to put my crease shade right here, and when I put it right there, when I look down you can see it, but then when I look up it goes away because I have hooded eyes. So you need to make sure you're finding your crease correctly, if that makes sense. So to find your crease correctly, tilt your head back and look down into a mirror. And when you look down, then you can feel like the hollow, or people call this the socket. And that's where you want to put your crease color. You can kind of see it better on my left eye where my socket is. Like before, I was putting my crease shade here, which is silly because when I look up, you can't see it. But if I put my crease shade here in my socket, when I look up, it's still there. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. We're going to pop this color lightly into our socket and blend. Make sure to be very gentle and just go back and forth. For mascara, I grab my wand, look down into the mirror, grab the wand right underneath my lashes and wiggle and go up. Now some people blink. I don't blink because I find when I blink then the mascara goes onto my lid. So I keep my eye open all the time. Go right from the root, wiggle and swipe up. Now with the middle lashes, from the middle onwards, when I go in, I come in to the middle like this. So I'm moving my lashes in and up. But when it comes to these outer ones, I get the tip of my mascara wand and I wing them out because I want them to flutter out. So these middle ones, I come in, and these end ones, I go out. Then I move on to my highlight. For highlight, I'm gonna use just my champagne pop because I haven't used it in a long time. I don't want a lot of highlight, so I use a fan brush. If you don't want an intense or as intense highlight, using a fan brush just distributes it out really nicely. With highlight, we want to put it on the highest points. So just on, if you smile, just the high point of your cheek. And then I actually like putting a little bit on my cheek, just to give my cheek a bit of a glow. Then whatever's left, I bring it up to the brow bone to highlight the brow. And then also I put it just above whatever's left on my brush, above the arch of my brow, because this is where the sun naturally hits. And it just gives you that natural glow. Now with blush, I have a couple tricks with my blush. So I grab my blush, smile, and we're gonna put it in between the bronzer and the highlight. So just about here. And then gently blending up and down. Now some people just put blush on the apples here, which I do. And some people like to put blush up the cheekbone, which I do too. I love putting blush up here next to the bronzer because I think it just helps shape the face a bit more and gives a bit more color. But then obviously putting blush on the cheeks just to give some color back. With lipstick, I have no trick. I just grab my lipstick and pop it on. If I find that there's really no rules with lipstick. Some people say don't go too light, but if you like that color, then who's anyone to tell you not to wear that color? So with lips, just make sure your lips are moisturized. So yeah, I think there's really no trick with lipstick, but just to go with whatever your heart desires. And that's pretty much my tips or tricks or how I like to do my makeup. Most of this stuff you may already know, some of it you might not know, but it's always cool just to see what other things people do to apply their makeup, I think. If you guys like these tricks on how I did my makeup, then please give me a thumbs up letting me know you did enjoy it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as well because I do upload 2 times a week. And if you want to know when I upload, hit that bell notification and it will tell you when I do upload. Thank you guys so much for sticking by me and coming back, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you again, guys. Bye. Mwah.